Rolla, Kansas, 5 o'clock, April 14th, 1935. The water tower stands clear against the sky. In 17 minutes, this will be the last normal photograph of Rolla for years. This is what approached. A wall of dust 3 kilometers high, moving at 60 miles per hour. Millions of tons of topsoil from Kansas, Oklahoma, and Colorado ripped from the earth. Spearman, Texas, 5:15 p.m. Every layer in that churning mass is someone's farm, someone's wheat crop, someone's entire future being carried away on the wind. 4 o'clock in Beaver, Oklahoma. People looking at these dark clouds hoped for rain to break the 3-year drought. This wasn't rain. Garden City, Kansas, 5:15 p.m. The sun is shining, buildings stand clear. This is before. 15 minutes later, complete darkness at 5:30 in the afternoon. People couldn't see their hands in front of their faces. This is Black Sunday. This car sits abandoned in the Texas Panhandle. The dust would short out engines. All you could do was pull over and wait. The most famous photograph of the Dust Bowl, a farmer walking into an approaching storm in April 1936. Why walk into hell? Because everything that keeps your family alive is out there. This farmer is raising a fence buried under 6 feet of sand. Dig out today, buried again tomorrow. An endless cycle. Dorothea Lange documented the greatest internal migration in American history. Black Sunday was just one storm. There would be hundreds more. Cimarron County, Oklahoma, April 1936. The family is gone. Thousands of farms like this were simply abandoned. One of the pioneer women of the Oklahoma Panhandle, while neighbors fled, she stayed. That determination is the human cost of refusing to surrender. These drifts near liberal Kansas don't melt, they pile higher with every storm, like trying to hold back the ocean with a bucket. We were starved out, he said in California. 4 words that explain why 2.5 million people left the Great Plains. Sand piled at every door. You'd shovel today, tomorrow it would all be back. Day after day, for years. First the crops died, then the water disappeared, then the cattle died, then the people left. Each abandoned farm represents a family's dream destroyed. Each one proves that when you strip away topsoil, nature doesn't forgive. This farm near Dalhart, Texas stayed occupied. Pride, stubbornness, or nowhere else to go. Probably all 3. US Highway 99, California, March 1937. The main artery of American migration, 2.5 million people heading west. World's shortest working hours. The refugees in broken jalopies saw the irony. They were fleeing starvation to work 12-hour days for 15 cents an hour. World's highest wages. The disconnect between advertising and reality must have been unbearable. November 1936. Repairing a tire on the highway. Overloaded vehicles, bad roads, no money for mechanics. You fixed it yourself. Stranded in Southern California, April 1936. Everything they owned camped alongside the road, out of gas, out of money, out of options. Private auto camp, 50 cents a week, paying for permission to sleep on dirt, no water, no sanitation. But it's California. Can't afford 50 cents? Sleep here. No rent, no water, no shelter, no dignity. Worker housing at Frick Ranch. row after row of company shacks. You work his fields, pay his rent, buy at his store. Government-run Kern Camp, 1938. Real buildings with running water and medical care. The Farm Security Administration built 13 of these. Basic human dignity. A drought refugee in California, 1938. Exhausted, but still standing. They didn't all make it this far. San Joaquin Valley, November 1938. 75 cents per £100. Work dawn to dusk, earn $1 and change. This was California. White, Mexican and black workers picking side by side. Poverty doesn't discriminate. Back-breaking work in 100-degree heat. Different dust than Oklahoma, but dust nonetheless. One face among thousands. One refugee who traded Oklahoma dust for California debt. Shafter FSA camp tent platforms, wood floors with drainage. Not luxury, but better than dirt. Real houses. $8.20 per month. 4 walls, running water, electricity. After years in tents, this felt miraculous. "This is a hard way to serve the Lord," one refugee said in 1937. Lost everything, still believing. They kept coming until World War II started. Suddenly, Okies became valued employees. War changes everything. Camped in the brush, Brawley, 1937. No water, no sanitation. This is where you end up with no other options. Walking to the cotton fields at dawn, another day, another 75 cents. Survival doesn't take days off. Button Willow Camp after harvest. Empty. The workers moved on, following crops. Permanent migration, never settling. One more face from the cotton fields, one of hundreds of thousands who survived and kept going. Civilian Conservation Corps, November 1935. Young unemployed men given a purpose: plant trees. Reforestation Project, 1939 to 1943. Thousands of saplings in rows. Eventually, 200 million trees from Canada to Texas. 200 million trees in 10 years. Impossible. They did it anyway. Texas Panhandle, June 1938. The new method, following land contours instead of straight rows, holds water, prevents erosion. Douglas County, Kansas, May 1936. The government paid farmers $1 per acre to adopt conservation methods. Everyone suddenly wanted to learn. Childress County, Texas. Modern machinery meeting scientific farming. Change was finally happening. Greene County, Missouri, May 1940. A government agent teaching soil protection. Your grandfather's crops blew away. Want to try something different? Plains farms need trees. Government propaganda. Also completely true. Near Gould, Oklahoma, June 1938. Wheat growing around the ruins. Nature slowly reclaiming with human help. 3 combines harvesting Kansas wheat. It's coming back. Not everywhere yet, but coming. Modern machinery, scientific methods, old land. Maybe this time they'll remember the limits. Workers heading to harvest, Oklahoma, June 1938. Work again, wheat again, cautious hope. Some farms never recovered, still empty decades later. Monuments to what we did. Forgan, Oklahoma, 1940, ghost town. Some places died and never came back. Montana, modern era. Contour plowing is standard now. The lessons became law. The land healed eventually, with massive intervention and decades of care. The programs continue. We said never again and built institutions to ensure it. Baker County, Colorado, April 14, 1935. This date is a warning. This disaster was made by human hands. We can make it happen again. Different place, same pattern. The Dust Bowl taught us that nature bats last. The question is whether we'll remember.